Did you ever read the book of Job?
No.
Are you familiar with the story of Job?
No.
No, the biblical story about a guy whose patience got tested and his faith got tested. And just about everything that could possibly go wrong in his life went wrong in his life. And
that's how you feel today?
Yeah, I mean that's not everything in my life, but I tell you, it's been a struggle today to get through. I mean, it all started last night with the Atlanta Braves just getting shelled. All right, so maybe I go 1-1. Then I have the Yankees and the White Sox in that Field of Dreams game. White Sox are winning 7-4, 2 outs, I think 2 strikes. Top of the 9th, 1 pitch away from being a winner and going home 50-50, booking a little bit of a profit because of the plus line. And, of course, a walk and then a home run. So now the game, they're down 1, then another walk, and then another home run, and now I'm down 1. All with 2 outs. In fact, the Yankees scored 6 of their runs in the with 2 outs and multiple strikes on the batter. And then, of course, Tim Anderson comes up and can't get 2 guys on base before he puts the ball out of the yard. Just 1, just enough to really you off.
Yeah. I feel that pain too because I had a same game parlay. I had Jimenez to home run. He homered in the 4th. Haney to give up 4 hits, which that happened, and Jimenez to have 2+ RBIs. That happened on the home run, and I had the White Sox minus a run and a half. It was a $10 free bet. I would have got $85 back, and same thing happened. And then to torture myself more because of the White Sox at least winning, all I needed was the over 7.5 in the Colorado-San Francisco game we were talking about. Well, runs were hard to come by, and then San Fran scored 6 in the 4th, and it was 7-0. And here we go again. I go to bed and go, well, they got to score 1 more run. Wake up this morning, and it's 7-0 final.
Well, for me, it just didn't get any better. I rolled right on into today. I woke up, got to work, started doing the day, got normal, and then I noticed my computer starting acting funny. So then it says, I can hear it with the etching in the background. Tick, tick, tick. And I'm like, what in that? Why does this thing always an update in the middle of the day? I mean, why? Don't I have any say, Microsoft? What the hell is wrong with you, Bill Gates? First, you poison the world with your stuff, and then you have the vaccines, and you buy all the COVID things, and now you want to screw up my day with your computer too? Oh my! So then, of course, I try to update because it wants to update, and then it's stuck in please don't turn your computer off mode for like a half an hour. And then finally it turns off, and then it comes on, and it takes 20 minutes to boot. And every damn button I press, not responding. So back to the Job. I really feel like the last 24 hours has been a big test of my patience. So it must mean now that I've passed the test, and here we are, I hope anyway, the baseball picks ought to work out all well. Let's see. I mean, because it's preseason in the NFL. And you know how I feel about betting preseason NFL games. I think you may have gotten a taste of why I don't like to do that yesterday. But if you want to try it again, Sean, you're welcome. Here you go.
No, I didn't see anything today that I had a good enough feeling on.
Oh, no, you kind of got walloped like a seal. All right.
Yeah.
So looking at these games, who has the most to prove? Tennessee versus Atlanta. Atlanta's a 1.5-point favorite against Tennessee. I feel like Atlanta has a few more things to work on than Tennessee. I think Tennessee's kind of set on their roster. And because they're set kind of on their roster, you're probably going to see secondary players for the majority of the game in Tennessee, whereas Atlanta, you might see a little bit more starters early on, at least in the first half. And then at least people that are competing for spots. And then the second half is probably a free-for-all. Buffalo and Detroit, no way in the world they're going to waste any they're going to put Josh Allen in his zillion-dollar contract out there for very long. So I think, again, Buffalo is the team here that they pretty much know what they've got, right? And Detroit, they're all new quarterback, new system, new everything. Jared Goff, I think, is going to probably get more playing time than maybe not. I don't know.
He might get a series.
But he's got to get in tune with his team. So I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit, if their players play a little bit more, at least their better players play a little bit more than Buffalo's better players. But Buffalo's third or fourth team players might be better than Detroit's second team players. It could well be, right? And then finally, Dallas and Arizona. No Dak. That shoulder ain't right, son. First it was ankle, now it's the shoulder. Second MRI. I think he might not be ready to start the beginning of the year. I feel like Arizona is a team here that is on the mission to prove something this year, right? Last year, choked down the stretch. Kyler Murray, he's short quarterback, needs to prove he can do it in the big game. I feel like Arizona is going to come out and to be that one team in the preseason this year that says, you know what, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, we want to set a tone. I'm going to do it, Sean. Cowboys are my team. I'm not going to do a full bet. It's a preseason game. I'm going to take Arizona. I'm going to lay the 2 points, but I'm only going to do it for $10 because, like I said, if there's one team in preseason that I feel like wants to set a tone for the entirety of the season, it's going to be the Cardinals.
Yeah, and I mean, Cliff Kingsbury, usually I'm trying to look up his record in preseason, but he's one of those guys that wants to win anything. So I would expect, he's going to try to win the game. Some coaches
he hasn't done a very good job of it in the NFL or at college.
No, but I'm saying preseason alone, some coaches have the knack for winning more preseason than others. I could see that. I didn't find anything today that I liked. Even looking at the totals, I like to do the unders in the preseason, and I know that didn't work yesterday, and both were over, but I didn't even see anything for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with the totals in the preseason, but I just feel like the Cowboys are going to be a mess to start the beginning of the year. And I do feel like every year in preseason, there's one team I feel like that takes the preseason more seriously than the rest. And I have a feeling that's Arizona this year because – and the team that plays on Hard Knocks always seems to have some kind of weird drama through the preseason anyway, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So Cowboys are on Hard Knocks, and I just feel like Arizona is that team that wants to come out and prove that they're a playoff team. They're in the most difficult conference in the NFL, probably in that NFC West. So I think they're going to come out. I think they're going to try to put a whooping on the Cowboys to set the tone for the 2020 season and 2021 season. I could be wrong, but $10, yeah, small bet, no big deal.
I will say Cliff Kingsbury was 1-3 last year, and Cowboys coaches
Mike McCarthy,
28-24. So
I don't know that matters. I think it's because he had Green Bay, right?
Yeah, Rodgers wasn't playing preseason though, but yeah, they had enough backup players.
Let's move on to Major League Baseball. It's a big night again. We got a full roster of games, so plenty to go through here. I found a trio that interests me. Hopefully, I can make it to the ninth inning with a 3-run lead and hold on today. Cincinnati versus Philadelphia. Zach Wheeler, their top pitcher on the mound. Last time we both played Zach Wheeler, and he did pretty well for us. Made it a full game.
Yeah, and I like that you're getting what, plus 120, giving up a run and a half. I like the way Wheeler's pitching. Phillies were playing, and the Reds aren't that great on the road. I know they smoked the Braves yesterday, but
yeah, thankfully.
I'm pretty confident here, giving up a run and a half with the Phillies. I'm going to take that as an official play.
So the Phillies are taking in about 54% of the bets, and this number would scare me if I were you, Sean. The Reds are taking more than 70 cents on the dollar. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest. Well, it looks to me like it's the second biggest differential between what the public is doing and what the so-called smart money is doing. And as far as I'm looking at this game, I was thinking about this spot as well, but unfortunately, it's kind of a 50-50 game, to be honest with you. And I can't take a 50-50 game, even though Zach Wheeler is a stud. I can't take a 50-50 game at minus 165, maybe minus 110. I might take the Phillies, but you're going to get him at minus 158.
No, I'm giving up the run and a half, so I'm doing the plus 120.
So you're going 1.5.
Yeah.
So you're getting plus 120?
Yeah. I like the
you can get 127, so you're getting plus 127.
Yeah, Wheeler going. He's been pitching really well. Reds aren't that great of a road team. I know they did good yesterday, but the Phillies were doing pretty well. I know they slumped the last few games, but that was also a competition they're playing.
The Dodgers are better than Cincinnati for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Milwaukee and Pittsburgh, another mismatch here. You can do the run line here is minus 135. That's the best I can get for you. Otherwise, You can get minus 204. It looks like the best line you can get if you want to money line them.
So what I'm going to do here, and first off, Pittsburgh's 7-23 versus lefties. They're a bad team anyway. Versus lefties, they're the worst. I mean, Arizona's the same. They're 7-23. I'm going to take Milwaukee, and I'm going to parlay them with another team and get plus 102. And we'll get to that other team pretty shortly.
Well, I'm not going to do that. Atlanta and Washington. Old man Morton, 5-inning Morton versus the Nationals. Mr. Gray on the mound. If you want to take Old man Morton, you can pay minus 165. That's the lowest I can get for you, Sean. And right now, looking at that spot, you have the Braves taking in about 90, almost 90 cents on the dollar, only 13 cents going towards the Nationals.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't trust the Braves enough to be this heavy of a favorite. Like you said, Morton's only going to go 5. They should win. Not a place I want to go, though.
And after yesterday, I'm not a fan of the Braves. I'll tell you that right now. They hurt my feelings yesterday. But they do have the power ranking and run scoring differential. I think this is a little bit too much of a premium to pay for them. I have them winning this game at about 59% of the time, and the implied probability is closer to 63%. So you're overpaying for the Braves in the spot, which means they probably win, but I'm not going to take them. The next game up on the list is probably the worst team in baseball now, I think, maybe the Chicago Cubs against the Miami Marlins. Sean, is this the game that you're going to parlay with?
No, I would have got better value. I didn't touch this one, but it's been intriguing me all day. I mean, you get minus 115 for Miami. I want to do it. I didn't do it, but this is one I may look at later and still play.
I'm going to do it. The Cubs, I think, are the worst team in baseball. Now they're 1-9 in their last 10, so the trading deadline did them great. I mean, you forever have to be thankful for the Ricketts family for bringing a championship to Chicago for the first time in a long time. And now, in a sense, you can almost – what they've done this year is almost like it can't completely wipe that out, but it's really wiped a lot of it out. You could take your best players, get rid of them, and turn a team that was almost 500 in a contention, maybe for an outside shot of a wild card with some strategic moves at the deadline. Now they're the worst team in baseball. Trotting out a AAA, maybe AA squad. I'm taking Miami. They have the best pitching staff at home. Luzardo actually and Alazoy, even though Luzardo has an elevated ERA, it's actually a game that the pitchers are almost neck and neck. Overall, Miami has the better pitching squad. They're just a better team right now. I'm going to take the Marlins, and I'm going to do it I'm back to $25 after yesterday for minus 112.
Yeah, like I said, that line surprised me, so it was almost what am I missing here kind of line. But, yeah, I think Miami should win.
Next game on the roster is the Dodgers and the New York Mets. Your guy McGill is on the mind versus Urias. Mets against the lefty, not too bad.
Yeah, but the Mets are really struggling. I was actually looking at the Dodgers, but I didn't want to pay the price here. But the Mets are really struggling. The Dodgers are starting to get hot again, and they win for areas, and they score runs for areas. So if I'd play anything, I would play the Dodgers, but I'm going to stay away.
So in terms of looking at this game, the Mets actually have the power ranking advantage over the Dodgers, which kind of surprised me. I figured the Dodgers – home or away would be slightly better than Mets, but it's a minor advantage for the New York Mets, whereas the Dodgers do have a pretty sizable run differential advantage. The game is pretty close to me, except Vegas wants me to pay a little too much for the Dodgers in this spot. If I can get it, the Dodgers, let's see. If I could get the Dodgers, yeah, I'm just not going to take this spot. If I can get them like around minus 150, it would be enticing to me. But anything above minus 150, I think you're paying too much for the Dodgers. As far as the public is concerned and the pros are concerned, the Dodgers and the are taking in a lot of money today, over 90 cents, which makes me even more curious about the Dodgers. The Mets are taking in under a dime, and the Dodgers are taking in almost 80% of the bets. I'm this close to making the Dodgers an official play, but I want that line to come down a little bit more before I take the leap. Maybe it will by the time game time comes.
And Tyler Miggle, he's been struggling, but they've all been on the road too. He's been really good at home, so it's a matter of everybody catching up to him, or was it a matter of he's just that much of a better pitcher at home? I guess we'll find out tonight.
Or it could be a little bit of tired arm. He's a young kid, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not used to all the pressure, all the innings. That can take a toll on you for sure. The next spot for me is Oakland. I should have bet Oakland yesterday against Cleveland. I sweated out the first 2 days, and then the next day they just smoked them. So Oakland and Texas, unfortunately, in this spot, I can't take Oakland. If I were going to take a home team with maybe a shot that with a nice plus line is a lottery ticket. I don't know why anybody would call plus 150 a lottery ticket, but a solid win possibility. Dunning actually has a little bit of a pitching advantage in terms of advanced metrics over Irvin. And I think they've done okay, Texas, against lefties.
Yeah, almost half their wins have come against lefties. So that's the only time Texas is playable this year is when they're facing lefties, and they're doing one tonight. So, yeah, it's definitely playable. I don't want to trust Texas, and I don't want to pay the price for Oakland with knowing that in mind with the whole left-handed pitching in Texas. So this is a pass for me.
Pass for you? Yeah. If I were going to take a team tonight, a home squad that's getting a plus line, to me, the one that might provide value is the Texas Rangers. Tampa Bay against Minnesota. Here we have a interesting pitching matchup. Again, you have McClanahan, a lefty, versus Pineda, a righty. And Minnesota has really struggled against left-handed pitching, 13-26, so they win a third of their games, right? Against lefties, they only win about a third of their games at home anyway, just a little bit more than that. So I feel like in this spot, I'm on Tampa. -1, let's see, Tampa, I can get Tampa 4, -158, right underneath my number. And they have the power ranking advantage. They have the run scoring differential. They win more games on the road than Minnesota wins at home. And I am getting a decent sized pitching advantage. So I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Rays -158 for another 25, Sean.
Yeah, I like it. I didn't like that Tampa, and that it was too big of a price for me to pay for this game, but I do like Tampa.
All right. As far as the public is concerned, let's see if I'm on the right side of the bet or if I'm on the wrong side, at least according to the Money Men. Right now, Tampa Bay is, where are they at? The Rays are taking in about 3/4 of the money, about 80% of the bets. So some people are fishing a little bit on the Twins there, but that's not the square sucker play of the day for sure. So I feel pretty good about that one. St. Louis and Kansas City, perhaps another home team where you have a shot to maybe collect. I know Flaherty has that really low ERA. Looks really good on paper. Mike Minor's ERA is elevated, very much so compared to Flaherty. But when you look at the internal advanced metrics, they're actually you get a little bit. Minor has actually better advanced metric numbers than Flaherty does, especially on the road versus home.
Yeah, this is one that intrigued me, but Mike Minor just hasn't been pitching that great this year, so I couldn't go with it. And the price, I mean, plus 120 is not bad, plus 125, not bad, but it wasn't high enough for me to take the flyer.
Wasn't high enough for you to. I'm close to taking Kansas City. It's a 50-50 game in terms of the home-away differential. It's 49.7 to 50.3. That's 50-50, right? If you round out the decimals. But on the run differential, it's about 54%, 53% to 46, 47. That's a pretty sizable advantage for Kansas City. In my simulations, they win about 52% of the games to 48. So that's an advantage to Kansas City. And you get 52% win rate at home versus a 46% win rate on the road. You get a little bit of a pitching matchup advantage according to the advanced metrics on Kansas City. You know what, Sean? I bet 10 on the football game. I got $15 left over. I'm going to put $15 on Kansas City to win, and I'm getting a line of plus 130.
130? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Next squad is Houston, Zach Greinke, who we say sometimes can be pretty bad. Last time out, he kind of was bad for me when I backed him, so I'm not going to back him here. And Sandoval is actually grades out as the better pitcher for the Los Angeles Angels. So maybe I think Greinke's becoming a 5-inning pitcher too, maybe 6 inning. He's like he's the Houston's version of Charlie Morton. if I were going to take anything in this side, I would take the Angels, although, as you mentioned before, they do struggle to hit. Houston has a pretty sizable run differential advantage.
Yeah, and this is a line that it says to take the Angels because you think it'd be a little higher. Greinke's usually overvalued, basically. I couldn't pull the trigger either way, but I would be on your side and take the Angels if I had to pick.
Well, I'm not taking either side, but about 80% of the money is on the Angels and roughly 80% of the tickets too. So you definitely would be against the crowd if you went that route. San Diego and Arizona, lefty versus lefty. San Diego's kind of been struggling since the break and making some moves, or maybe not making the splash that they needed to give their team a shot. And arm plus Tatis being on the sidelines doesn't help.
Yeah, and this is another one. It's intriguing to take Arizona plus 160, but they just beat the Padres 11-3 yesterday. Bumgarner hasn't been that great this year, and Snell's been pitching well lately. So this is a pass for me.
No play for Sean. And even though the Diamondbacks smoked the Padres yesterday, it's not shaking off the bettors because less than 60% of the tickets are on the Padres, but almost 80 cents on the dollar. So they're backing the Padres. They're backing the Padres heavily. I'm not backing either team in the squad. They're backing the Giants heavily tonight too. About 85% of the tickets and about 85% of the money. Backing the team from San Francisco. You've got Gomber versus Del Scafani. This is a good pitching matchup too that favors Colorado.
Well, I'm going to take San Francisco, giving up a 1.5 here at even money. Colorado's just not hitting again on the road. Sorry. I definitely like San Fran here. I think it kind of be like yesterday, 6-1, 7-1 type game.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's your second part of your parlay?
No, that's just a straight up bet. San Fran minus 1.5.
I think straight up minus 1.5?
You skipped my second part of the parlay, actually.
We did? Which game did I miss?
Boston, Baltimore.
Okay, we'll go back to that game there. So, but minus 1.5, you can get exactly plus 100. Well, it looks like that line's probably going to move because it's as much as minus 116 at some books. So, locking in plus 100 is a pretty good bet. So I skipped this game maybe on purpose. Maybe I had a sense of where you were going to go, make you sweat it out because you said we were going to get to it right away. And I was wondering, my God, he said right away. Baltimore versus Boston, Pivetta versus Watkins, minus 250, Sean?
Yeah, so I'm just taking Boston and Milwaukee together. Watkins has struggled. He's given up 4 runs in 3 straight starts. He's another one it looks like the hitters have caught up to right now. So Boston should win this game pretty easily. I don't see either Baltimore beating Boston or Milwaukee losing to Pittsburgh. So I'm going to parlay them together and get plus 102.
All right. And then the 80 on that game. 80% of the tickets, 80% of the money on the guys from Boston. Last game on the schedule, unless I missed another one. It's been a buggy day, like I said, from the beginning to the end. So it doesn't surprise me that my computer's a little buggy and that my brain is a little buggy. It's actually really agitated is what it is. Toronto and Seattle. Seattle's your underdog. You love playing Seattle when they're an underdog.
Well, I don't love – I mean, I should have been.
Many times you've talked about how great Seattle is as an underdog.
They are. I can't do it here, though. Toronto's offense is just too good to go against them. When Seattle sometimes struggles to score runs, and I don't see Chris Flexen stopping that Toronto.
Flexing?
No, I don't see him flexing on that Toronto offense at all. So I'm passing on this one. Plus the price, Toronto's minus 170 I have. It's too high.
Minus 160, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you might not be flexing on flexing, but the money is flexing on flexing because only about the tickets are almost split 50-50 between who's going to win on the public, but it's closer to 70% of the money on Seattle. So Seattle definitely the smart money is back in the Seattle squad. And when I look at this particular game, let's see, I don't see it on my list, so I can't tell you, but I know that Seattle, where the heck is it at? Did I leave it up in here? Seattle. All right. Seattle has the power ranking advantage, but the Toronto offense, as you mentioned, is a far superior offense, even on the road versus Seattle at home. I can't bet games that are mixed up, Sean. That one's absolutely mixed up. But if I were going to lean one way, that money, smart money, is telling me the way I would want to lean would be Seattle. So real quick recap, Sean. in our delayed show because of a technology Friday the 13th nightmare. Who do you like?
All right, I'm taking the Phillies giving up a run and a half at plus 127. Taking Milwaukee to beat Pittsburgh and Boston to beat Baltimore, parlay them together at plus 102. And San Fran giving up a run and a half against Colorado at plus 100.
So I'm taking the Miami Marlins minus 112 to mop up the worst team in baseball, my Chicago Cubs. I'm also going to take for $15 instead of $25, the Kansas City Royals to win the matchup with their rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals. And then I'm also on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Hey, no one mentions
Tampa Bay Rays.
What the hell? Like, of all sports to pick, I could have picked the Buccaneers. I picked the Lightning, NHL, man. I am buggy today. I'm getting them for minus 158. And as I mentioned, I think the Arizona Cardinals are the team in the NFL that wants to prove that the preseason matters and set the tone for their 2021 season. Oof, it's been a long day. And I'm taking the Cardinals laying 2 at home against the Cowboys, my other team. So I'm betting against both of my teams today. That's how much of a fan I am. Give me a chance to make money against my team, and I'll jump on that bandwagon all day.
Yeah, as a bettor, you have to do that if you know your team the best. So
that's funny. Anyway, the for those of you who are watching, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell so that you're notified when we get started. If we hit a winner or two, or you like what we're doing, if you could kindly give us a thumbs up, that would be fantastic. We'd appreciate that. Follow us on Twitter or Facebook at Moneyline Madman. Sean, anything else you want to add before we roll?
No, we'll be back Monday. Tomorrow, unfortunately, I got to work, so we'll skip tomorrow morning so Rich can sleep in.
Maybe my brain will be a little less buggy if I get to sleep in a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. And maybe your computer, this is the, 6th time in the last 2 days. Maybe your computer's getting sick of you. Nobody else is getting sick of you. We like the YouTube shows, but your computer must get sick of you.
I don't know. I think my family's happy. The more shows I do, the more I lock myself in my basement here in my prison, in my public storage locker room of an office. On the other side of there is all the stuff from the house that we don't want to make all the other rooms minimalist, not this room. So in any case, Sean, I guess we are taking off tomorrow, but we'll tweet out our picks. So please make sure you head on over to, as I mentioned before, Moneyline Madmen, both on Facebook and Twitter. Tell your friends about us, however it is that you communicate. Friends don't let friends fade, Sean, without Moneyline Madmen. All right, folks, until Monday, as always, may all of your tickets be winners. We'll see you in a couple days.